dear students, good evening. First of all, I'm extremely sorry. I'm extremely sorry for the fact for getting late. In fact, it's not my problem. It's technical problem, the server's problem. That's why today I have been late. But I request you people to be in time because I have to manage two classes, your class and then Hindi medium class simultaneously. So if I will be late here, that is going to affect my future class as well. So please, my friends, you will come in time at 6:30. Today's case you can take as an exception. Now, my friends, first of all, before starting my class, I have to discuss one point with you people. In course of my conversation, always I am giving a hint towards the fact that I am helping here the English medium students. But truth is that this class is purely English medium class. This is not English medium class, purely English medium class. Whenever I started to involve this class, to engage this class, I was told I have to deal with the students from English medium. In the meantime, some students from English medium have joined this class. In order to help them, I am using certain Hindi terms. I am trying at my best to convey to them through some Hindi terms. But my friends, many of you are such who are expecting complete translation of English to Hindi, and that is not practically possible. You can very well understand my position. I am engaging you for 1 hour and 15 minutes. Or suppose if I am just going to engage in both the mediums simultaneously, in that case my course will not make any progress, and that will be suffocating for those students who are purely from English medium. So once again I am requesting the students from English medium, either they have to stay at this side if they can manage with certain Hindi words, otherwise they have to migrate to other channel, that is Hindi channel. Please receive the study material in English channel and English medium and remain at the Hindi medium. So then your requirement will be fulfilled there, because in Hindi medium completely the lecture will be delivered in Hindi medium. But at this side and at this at this class, after all, the lecture will be delivered in English medium alone. I will use certain Hindi terms, I will speak certain Hindi sentences simultaneously in order to help you. So my friends, please, I am requesting you, don't disturb me, otherwise my whole process is going to be disrupted. So please understand my position. This is an English medium batch. I cannot here use both the language simultaneously every sentence. I can help you to a certain degree. Now come to the point. Today I have brought 5 questions, multiple choice questions, and you people are supposed to answer my question, please. Question number 1. Arrange the following battles in correct chronological order. Point 1, the Battle of Saint Tomé. Point 2, the Battle of Vandivas. Point 3, the Battle of Palasi. There are 3 battles have been mentioned here. So my friends, be fast and try to answer my question. You have to put these battles in chronological order in ascending manner. So how will you put these battles in chronological order? Please be fast. Maximum 8. Yes. Maximum number of you have selected A. A means 132. Means the Battle of Saint Tomé. Battle of Saint Tomé, you already know the fact. That is in 1746. In Vandivas 1760. And the Battle of Palasi 1757. So in chronological order, you can find out 1, 3, 2. Very good, very good. A is the correct answer. Absolutely right. We have done extremely well. So just move to the question number 2. The first presidency of the British company was established at twice A Surat, twice B Bombay, twice C Madras, twice D Fort William. Be fast, my friends. Be responsive and fast. Once again, observe the question, my friends. D. Fort William. But my friends, I have to inform you. Actually, Surat used to be the first presidency. The first presidency was established at Surat. Then it was transferred to Fort William. So my friends, it is just an information for you. Whenever you find such a question, you will select Surat as the first choice. सूरत को आप लोग पहला चॉइस बनाएंगे. पहले सूरत में था, फिर फोर्ट विलियम में बाद में ट्रांसफर हुआ है. क्वेश्चन नंबर 3. Which of the following was not included in the Treaty of Allahabad? Point 1. The British received region of Kara and Allahabad. Point 2. The Awadh army was replaced by the British army in Awadh. There are 2 statements. So my friends, yesterday I have discussed about the Treaty of Allahabad, but today I will make a revision work as well, so that you people should be familiar with the fact how did the British get the Diwani of Bengal, in what way it was going to benefit the British. But in this question, you people have to just make an attempt to answer the question. Maximum number C. Yes. Absolutely right. You are correct. 100% correct. Question number 3 is the correct answer. Question number 4. British defeated the Dutch of Chinsura in the Battle of Bedara in 1759. Where is Chinsura situated? Where is Chinsura situated? Twice in Bengal, twice in Karnataka, twice in Hyderabad, twice in Calicut. Be fast. Yeah? Twice number is the correct answer. Absolutely right. Absolutely right. You are 100% correct. Bengal is the correct answer. The next question. Which of the following Carnatic wars started on the succession matter of Indian states? Which of the Carnatic war started on the succession matter of Indian states? You have to select the answer. Choice number A, first Carnatic war. Choice B, second Carnatic war. C, third Carnatic war. D, none of the above. B for one. Most of them B. Yes. 100%. My friends, congratulations to you people. You have done well. Extremely well. You have selected 5 out of 5 correct answers. That is a matter of rejoice for me. I am too much happy at your performance. Now, yesterday I have given you a question. Ankur just asked my friend one of is, yesterday I have given them a homework. Did they try the homework? One question. How did the victory at the battle of Buxar prove the British victory at Plassey? Did they do my homework? मतलब कल मैंने आप लोगों को एक होमवर्क दिया था कि ब्रिटिश पलाशी के बैटल में ब्रिटिश विक्ट्री का अप्रूवल बक्सर के बैटल में ब्रिटिश विक्ट्री ने कर दिया. डिड यू डू माय क्वेश्चन? डिड यू डू द परफॉर्मेंस? डिड यू फिनिश माय होमवर्क? Yes, very good. Now my friends, here I am giving you suggestion for question writing. How to answer the question, I am just going to discuss with you. This was the question, just take it as a question. If victory at my class, I have to discuss at the Battle of Buxar approved the British victory at the Battle of Plassey. But Battle of Plassey. Examine the statement or comment, or rather you can say comment. My students, just ask my students whether is this question hypothetical or argumentative. ये question hypothetical है या argumentative? Hypothetical या argumentative? Hypothetical. Okay. Very good. You are right. My students, here I have to inform you how to write the answer. अब इस क्वेश्चन को हम कैसे शुरू करें? But I am a bit apprehensive कि in the last drop, because in the last your comments have been stopped. Your comment just stopped, so I could not understand whether in the last phase of my discussion has been clear to you or not. Here I have to inform you when all the three parties lost the Battle of Buxar. So at that time, during this time of juncture, it was Robert Clive who was recalled from London again, and Robert Clive was having the expertise in Indian matters. So Robert Clive had to deal with all the three parties. Took care, Mir Kashim was fled from the battlefield. So now a treaty has to be imposed over Awadh as well as the Mughal Emperor Shah Alam II. So here we will come to know it was Robert Clive who just came to deal with both the contenders. So here you know in 1765 he signed the Treaty of Allahabad. मतलब कि अब रॉबर्ट क्लाइव जो कि इंडियन मामले का विशेषज्ञ था, एक्सपर्ट था, तो उसको लंदन से बुलाया गया और रॉबर्ट क्लाइव ने अलग अलग संधि, अलग अलग ट्रीटी अवध के साथ भी की और मुगल इंपेयर के साथ भी की. तो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल ट्राई टू फाइंड आउट व्हाट वर द प्रोविजंस ऑफ द ट्रीटी विद अवध. द वन प्रोविजन वाज कि अवध वाज लायबल टू पे 50 लाख रुपीस एज वॉर कंपनसेशन. मतलब अवध को 50 लाख रुपए युद्ध हार जाने के रूप में देने थे. देन अवध हैड टू सबमिट द रीजन ऑफ करा एंड इलाहाबाद टू ब्रिटिश कंपनी. मतलब अवध को करा और इलाहाबाद का रीजन ब्रिटिश कंपनी को सुपुर्द करना था. अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट अवध वाज कन्वर्टेड इनटू अ बफर रीजन. बफर स्टेट मींस द ब्रिटिश डिडंट प्रेफर टू अनेक्स अवध और टू because Awadh was a defeated party and British were open to even annex the region of Awadh and make it the part of Bengal or to establish the British rule on Awadh. But British company did not decide it. Rather, the British company decided to protect the British interest in Bengal while making Awadh as a buffer region between Bengal or other states. You know, मतलब कि उन्होंने सोचा कि चलो अवध को अनेक्स करना खतरे से खाली नहीं है, इसलिए हम ऐसा करते हैं कि हम बंगाल में अपने इंटरेस्ट को प्रोटेक्ट करने के लिए हम अवध को बफर रीजन बनाते हैं. बफर रीजन का मतलब हुआ मिडल रीजन. इफ यू आर प्लेसिंग सम स्टेट एज द बफर रीजन, इट मींस इफ अदर पार्टी हैड टू इन्वेड बंगाल, so it would be compelled to cross Awadh first. So that's why Awadh was just a buffer region. तो मैं यहाँ पर ये बताना चाहता कि that's why the British company signed also a treaty. What was the treaty? कि if any third party will invade over Awadh, then the British company will give assistance to Awadh, give support to Awadh, but in return the Awadh would be liable to pay the amount which was spent over the protection of Awadh by the British company. मतलब अवध को उस अमाउंट को पे करना होगा जो ब्रिटिश उनको बचाने पर खर्च करेगा. That is clear, you know. In this way you can say treaty was signed. अब now you can say the British company signed another treaty with Mughal Emperor Shah Alam II. Mughal Emperor Shah Alam II just you can say offered to the or submitted or rather you can say gave to the British company the Diwani of Bengal. What is Diwani of Bengal? The right of collection of revenue was Diwani. At that time you can say in British Suba there were two powers. One was the Nijamat power or the power of the Subedar. That was the total administration. Another was Diwani power, which was the right of collection of revenue. The right of the collection of revenue was given by Mughal Emperor Shah Alam II to the British company. मतलब ब्रिटिश कंपनी को शाह आलम II ने बस रेवेन्यू को कलेक्ट करने का राइट दे दिया. Then you can ask me the question कि who was Mughal Emperor Shah Alam II to give the right of collection of revenue to the British company? Here I have to answer your question. Actually, basically, Shah Alam II was the titular head, the de jure factor. मतलब वो नाम मात्र का हेड था, and it was simply having a power to stamp a paper. It could give a stamp of the power of the revenue collection. But as the British company was in actual situation to enjoy the power, so after taking simply legal support from the Mughal Emperor, the British company could acquire, and British company was already enjoying the power of collection of revenue in Bengal. In this way, you can say that the Mughal Emperor Shah Alam II and his approval would legitimize the British position in Bengal. Okay, it was a great benefit for the British company. You know, yet be mentally alert. Actually, earlier the British company used to purchase products from India, but the British company were liable to pay the products through bringing precious metal from Britain. So British company was purchasing Indian products in return of the precious metal which were being brought from Britain. But now, as the company became the collector of revenue in Bengal, so now a part of the collected revenue might be spent over purchasing of Indian products. Means the company used to purchase the Indian products through Indian revenue itself. It is from here the phenomena of drain of wealth started from India to Britain, because the India was supplying products to Britain, but in return the India was not getting money or getting precious metal, as the money was arranged within India itself, and a part of the collected amount of revenue was being spent over purchasing of Indian products. मतलब अब क्या हुआ कि चोर ही कोतवाल बन गया, आप इसको ऐसे समझ लो, क्योंकि ब्रिटिश यहाँ पर रेवेन्यू का कलेक्शन करते थे, उसी कलेक्टेड रेवेन्यू का एक पार्ट से अब वो इंडियन प्रोडक्ट्स खरीदने लगे. जो प्रेशियस मेटल पहले ब्रिटेन से वो लाते थे, वो प्रेशियस मेटल मंगाना बंद कर दिया. तो एक तरह से समझिए तो इंडिया के गुड्स की लूट शुरू हो गई. तो यहीं से आपको ड्रेन ऑफ वेल्थ का फिनोमेना भी शुरू होगा, जो आगे डिस्कस करेंगे. तो आपको ध्यान रखना है कि बंगाल, दिवानी ऑफ बंगाल वाज मच बेनिफिशियल फॉर द ब्रिटिश कंपनी, एंड इट इज फ्रॉम हियर द colonial relationship was established between India and Britain. तो इस तरह से दीवानी मिली. बदले में मुगल इंपीरियर को क्या दिया? तो 26 लाख रुपीस मुगल इंपीरियर was paid 26 lakh rupees as his personal expenditure and 53 lakhs rupees as Nijamat expenditure. Nijamat expenditure means the administrative expenditure. But what was given in the name of Nijamat expenditure, so that had not to be transferred to Mughal Emperor. Rather, this amount had to be transferred to Nawab of Bengal, because Nawab of Bengal had to. Who was Nawab of Bengal? Asafuddaula. Who was Najmuddaula. Who was Najmuddaula? He was the son of Mir Jafar. So he was just a Nawab, a titular Nawab. He was just the nominee of the British company, but he had to take care of the administration of Bengal. So 53 lakhs rupees had to be transferred to him in the name of Mughal Emperor. वही मैंने लास्ट में कहा था कि गड्डी मुगल इंपीरियर के हेड पर ऐसे घुमाकर और बंगाल के नवाब को दे देना है मुगल इंपीरियर के नाम पर. और मुगल इंपीरियर को मात्र 26 लाख रुपए मिल रहा है. इसके अलावा उसे करा और इलाहाबाद का रीजन मिल गया, और उसको करा में ले जाके स्टैब्लिश कर दिया गया, और मुगल इंपीरियर जस्ट ब्रिटिश का रबर स्टाम्प बन गया, बिकॉज ही हैड टू stay at Kara, and he had to waiting for the further British order. Whenever British will require, take one more stamp from his side. So that's why he was just placed under the British control and British patronage. So that happened in case. So my friends, you may have been clear. अब ये तो हुआ बंगाल की दीवानी, यहाँ तक की चीजें. अब सवाल ये उठता, if whenever you have to deal with this question, so my friends, in this question I have to dictate in English alone, not in Hindi, So vice victory at the Battle of Buxar proved the British victory at the Battle of Plassey Commit. So how can we start this question? Battle of Buxar was a step further. Battle of Buxar was a step further ahead of the Battle of Plassey. As it substantiated the British victory, that substantiated the British gains at Plassey. My friend, this is an introductory statement. What is this? This is simply an introductory statement. I have just started an introduction. It has substantiated the British gains at Plassey. So this is just an introduction. Now, what statements, or you can say what evidences or what ideas I am supposed to give in support of the statement. So first sentence here you can say, or I have to change the paragraph, or if you will just like to, I can even take it apart. Now I will start with the change of paragraph. I will start in this manner. The Battle of Plassey. Plassey was won through machination and treachery. Machination of the manipulation, right? Machination, or even you can use the term manipulation and treachery. But the Battle of Buxar was an openly contested battle. Which could show the British, which could display the British military prowess. In this way, this is my first one statement, and through this idea I have proved how did it approve the British gains at Plassey. What is my second one view? Furthermore, the Battle of Plassey, the Battle of Plassey, Battle of Plassey had brought the Nawab of Bengal, the Nawab of Bengal under the British influence, but the Battle of Buxar brought the Nawab under the complete control of the company. Whatever. Now, apart from that, in the Battle of Plassey, after the Battle of Plassey, only Bengal fell under British control, but in the Battle of Buxar, not simply Nawab of Bengal, but also Nawab of Awadh, and Mughal Emperor, all were at the mercy of the company. Now, not simply that. Above all, after Battle of Plassey, there was some financial gain for the company. Gains for the company. But Battle of Buxar solved the problem of investment in trade. Solve the problem of the investment in trade through ensuring Diwani of Bengal for the company. My friends, here I have informed you, and whenever you are writing a question, in the last sentence you can give the concluding line. In this way we can say the British victory at Buxar approved its earlier victory at the Battle of Plassey. So in this way the question, मतलब इस क्वेश्चन में मैंने क्या किया है, वैसे आपसे पूछा गया है कि बैटल ऑफ प्लासी में जो ब्रिटिश कंपनी की विक्ट्री हुई थी उसको बैटल ऑफ बक्सर ने कैसे उसको अप्रूव किया. तो आप कह सकते हो कि सिर्फ हमारे पास तो एक ही पॉइंट आ सकता है कि बैटल ऑफ प्लासी को उन्होंने धोखे से जीता था, ट्रीचरी से जीता था, और बैटल ऑफ बक्सर एक ओपनली कंटेस्टेड मिलिट्री बैटल था जो उनके मिलिट्री टैक्टिक्स, मिलिट्री प्रोग्रेस को सिद्ध किया. एक पॉइंट देने से तो होगा नहीं, तो हमें बैटल ऑफ प्लासी में और भी ऐसे पॉइंट खोजने हैं जिसमें बैटल ऑफ बक्सर उससे आगे गया. जैसे बैटल ऑफ प्लासी में देखो कि नवाब पर उन्होंने इन्फ्लुएंस पैदा किया, लेकिन वही नवाब देखिए मीर कासिम पर दोबारा खड़ा हो गया कंपनी के अगेंस्ट में. लेकिन बैटल ऑफ बक्सर ने नवाब को इस कदर कंपनी के कंट्रोल में ला दिया कि फ्यूचर में नवाब आगे अब कंपनी से कभी सिर उठाने की बात नहीं सोच सकता था. थर्ड वन, जैसे ब्रिटिश बैटल ऑफ प्लासी, तो उसमें तो केवल बंगाल ही कंपनी की कृपा पर गई, लेकिन बैटल ऑफ बक्सर के बारे में सोचिए. Even Mughal Emperor Shah Alam II and the Spirit of Awadh all were just lying at the mercy of the British company. It was a great success for the British company. And last but not the least, or above all you can say, in Battle of Plassey, the British British definitely had some financial gains and this amount might have been invested in trade. मतलब ब्रिटिश को थोड़ा सा फाइनेंशियल फायदा हुआ और उसने ट्रेड में इन्वेस्ट किया, लेकिन बैटल ऑफ बक्सर के बाद तो उसको बंगाल की दीवानी मिल गई, तो उसने पूरे इन्वेस्टमेंट के प्रॉब्लम को ही सॉल्व कर दिया. तो माय स्टूडेंट्स, मैंने 4 पॉइंट्स निकाले. आप लोगों ने इसमें कितने पॉइंट्स निकाले थे? I have solved the 4 points. How many points you people have tried? Whatever points you people might have tried. How many points you people might have collected? It is still a great success and it is commendable for you. I will always, you can say, give thanks for the honest efforts you people have made. Mr. Ankur, are you okay, my students? Any confusion? What their position, Ankur? Please give some hint. Are you okay? Okay. Very good beginning. Just start right. You will be okay. Now, first part has been finished, the history of 18th century. Once again, my friends, I am just reminding you. In fact, we are not taking a study of history in a traditional way, traditional manner. History is not the collection of informations. Not simply it was accumulation of facts. In fact, to read history means underline the change. If you people will be in a position to underline the change, it is a great success for you. And your point is what you know as the facts or informations. So these facts and informations are simply the examples of the change. The facts and informations are simply the examples of the change, not the change themselves. It was simply the examples of the change, you can say. So don't be serious about the facts and information. Rather, you can say you have to be particular about the change, because if you are in a position to underline the change, it means you are going through history. Now, history of 18th century. For the sake of our convenience, we have divided history in 4 parts, the history of 18th century. Even the history of 18th century has to be subdivided into 2 subparts, the first half of 18th century and the second half of 18th century. The first half of the 18th century has earlier been finished. The first part of 18th century is reflecting the disintegration of the Mughal Empire and the rise of regional states. Then I have discussed some controversial and debatable issue that whether it was a pre-modern era or the age of darkness. And then we have moved to the second part of 18th century. How did changes take place in Europe? How did the decline of Constantinople become possible? How did sea voyages started? Then what was the chronological order of the European companies which came to India one by one? Why did the conflict start among them? Why the Indian companies got into political imbroglio in India? Why did they pick up the quarrel with the Indian states? And how did the French and the British company fought together for asserting their hegemony over India? Why did the French failure in India and elsewhere? And then finally, why did the Battle of Plassey and Buxar take place? And in what way, after the Battle of Buxar, the British company could have transformed from a mercantile company into a political power in India? So in this way, the second half of 18th century is over. My second part is, as I have told you, in fact, for the sake of convenience, we have divided history in 4 parts. The first part, history of 18th century. The second part, the history of colonialism, which I am going to start. The third part, the history of nationalism, which will be slightly a larger topic, and then finally the fourth part, post-independence era. So, my friends, now I am going to start the history of colonialism, and even the history of colonialism is supposed to have divided into 3 parts: the mercantile phase of colonialism, the industrial phase of colonialism, and the financial phase of colonialism. अब हम आपको उपनिवेशवाद या colonialism के टॉपिक को स्टार्ट करने जा रहे हैं. उसमें पहला फेज है mercantile phase, दूसरा है industrial phase, और तीसरा है financial phase, मतलब औद्योगिक phase और वित्तीय. तो हम पहला, and for the first part, the mercantile phase, I have already sent the study material in advance, so you people might have received my study material, and I'm going to start on that basis of the study material. I have already given to you this study material in advance. Yes, Mr. Ankur, what is the question? Okay, actually, what is the name? Hemendra. Actually, Hemendra, in fact, you have to I'm not presently bearing the map, but you people might have attempted for drawing a map because I have suggested you earlier. What do you find? This is the region of Bengal. This is the region of Bengal, and just in the region of Bengal, here you find the region of Awadh. The British was having the larger interest in Bengal. So there is a concept of a buffer state. Suppose Awadh is just lying there as the buffer state. If even third party will just try to penetrate Bengal, so this third party would be compelled to penetrate Awadh first. Only then it would reach and it would have the access to Bengal. So Awadh could work as a protecting wall for the safety of Bengal. So as the Awadh had to work as the protecting wall for the safety of Awadh. So that's why, for the safety of Bengal. So that's why Awadh was transformed into a buffer region. Buffer means middle region. Okay? Are they okay? Any further question? My students, you can write even in bullet point, but analysis should be clear. You can write even in the points. You can even choose the short paragraphs, write points, but analysis should be clear. Even you can write through the points. Both the options are open for you. Not liking Warmi? Once again. Actually, 2 and 3 things. I have told you, in fact, the Afghan soldiers were much more disciplined and organized than Maratha soldiers. The basic problem with the Marathas were there were squabbles among the Maratha nobles, squabbles, the differences. And Marathas were not a cohesive force. I have told you earlier, whenever there was the formation of Maratha Confederacy, the very nature of Maratha Confederacy was feudal. So there was lack of ascent-like structure. And even they were not, the different factions of Marathas were not readily accept the lordship of Peshwa. Even in the battlefield, you might have realized, to what happened, Sadasiv Rao was the military commander. But Sadasiv Rao was not respected by other members like Malhar Holkar and Raghunath Rao. Malhar Holkar even gave the statement, if this Pandit will win the battle, he will compel us to wash their dhoti. अगर यह पंडित जीत जाएगा तो हम लोगों से धोती साफ करवाएगा. Fashionism was at this point. Apart from that, the Marathas artillery, the Afghans artillery was much more developed than Marathas artillery. The Afghans could represent the better artillery, मतलब cannons, तोपखाना. So this was the factor. Farman was just an ordinance, and Dastak was what in Hindi you can say Adhikar Patra. Means कि Dastak authorized them to enjoy something or to enjoy some power or to enjoy some authority or enjoy some benefits. But Farman was just like you can say it was an ordinance which was given to someone, and the someone is supposed to accept the Farman and to follow it. Now, students, if you will allow, I will start part 2. Part 2 means total we have to cover 4 parts in modern history. Now we have entered into part 2. I have just seen this study material in advance to you, and that is colonialism. Colonialism is the important topic, and we have to cover it, this colonialism. So I'm going to start. Okay, my students, are you ready? Please give me the hint or any problem. Mr. Ankur, what is the situation? Ask them. Proceed. Could I proceed now? Colonialism. My students, firstly, I'm just going to define what is colonialism. So colonialism is an ideology which tries to establish that, in fact, the interest of a colony is subservient to that of the metropolitan state or the mother state. Here I have to define certain terms. There is the term mother state or metropolitan state. Mother state और metropolitan state. मतलब देखो दो शब्द हैं, एक है mother state और metropolitan state. उसको हिंदी में बोलते हैं मातृदेश या मातृराज्य. तो the state which creates a colony is known as metropolitan state. उसको मातृदेश बोलते हैं. And colony को हिंदी में उपनिवेश बोलते हैं. अब now you people will be a bit curious कि what is colonialism. So here I have to make you and what is colony. So suppose if one country or one region or one country, one desh is putting control over the other, and then it tries to exploit the economy of the country concerned for its own sake. Means that one state is going to defeat and control or going to have the control over the other, and then this state exploits the economy of the other state for its own interest, then the supposed state is a colony. मतलब एक देश किसी दूसरे देश पर कब्जा कर ले, कंट्रोल कर ले और उसकी इकोनॉमी को, उसकी अर्थव्यवस्था को अपने हित में जब एक्सप्लॉइट करना शुरू कर दे तो समझ लीजिए वह उसकी कॉलोनी है. तो जो एक्सप्लॉइट करता है वो हुआ मातृदेश या मेट्रोपोलिटन स्टेट, और जिसका एक्सप्लॉइट किया गया वो कहलाया कॉलोनी. इस तरह से दोनों के बीच डिवीजन होता है. मेरे विचार से आप लोग समझ गए होंगे. अब माय स्टूडेंट्स, हियर पॉइंट इज दैट इफ whenever we are making a study of colonialism, here you are given the hint कि while studying colonialism we must take following points into the consideration. Whenever we are making a study of colonialism, we have to take following points in consideration. Point first, colonialism should be studied as a structure, and not as a policy. That is, the policy changes with the change in officers, but the structure remains the same. Therefore, whether it was Warren Hastings or William Bentinck or Litter or Ripon, they could not bring about any change in the structure on the basis of their policies. My students, here I am making clear. Actually, colonialism should be studied as a structure, not as a policy. Not as a policy means policy changes with the changing officer, but the structure remains to be the same. If you will ask me a concrete example, I can give you a concrete example. Suppose you are a DM of a district my state. You are a Jilla collector, district collector. So then you have to work within the rules and regulations of your work manual. Means you should not show the activism that is going to contravene your authority. And you have to work within the structure or within the structure of your work manuals. You have not to work outside of the manuals. It is limitations, but you may be slightly more activist. Your predecessor officer could have been a less activist. Your successor may be a more activist. But all have to work within the boundary of its structure. You cannot contravene the work manuals, your authority. You should not work outside of your authority. यही आपको बताया जा रहा है कि जो भी ऑफिसर्स आए, मतलब जब आप कॉलोनियलिज्म का स्टडी करते हो तो मान लो एक स्ट्रक्चर है, पॉलिसी नहीं है. पॉलिसी तो चेंज होता रहता है, लेकिन जो स्ट्रक्चर है वो स्ट्रक्चर परमानेंट है कि भाई देखिए ये कॉलोनी है, ये मदर स्टेट है. मदर स्टेट को कॉलोनी से यह चाहिए तो चाहिए. आप एक ऑफिसर हो तो आपको फुलफिल करना होगा. आप अगर थोड़ा लिबरल हो तो थोड़ा लिबरल तरीके से पेश आओगे. आप अगर हार्डलाइनर हो तो हार्डलाइनर तरीके से पेश आओगे. लेकिन आप सबको ब्रिटिश इंटरेस्ट को परसू करना है. आपको अपनी कुछ अन्य चीजें नहीं चलानी है. तो बेसिक डिमांड ऑफ कॉलोनियलिज्म इज इट इज बेसिकली एन स्ट्रक्चर, नॉट अ पॉलिसी. तो बी क्लियर. तो फर्स्ट फीचर. सेकंड वन फीचर इज दैट colonialism should be studied as a series of contradictions such as backwardness versus development. Of what is this? I am making clear. Actually, essential impact of colonialism is poverty and backwardness. Essential impact of colonialism is poverty and backwardness, but its unintended impact is development. And that is contradictory thing. I am making clear. In fact, intended impact of colonialism is backwardness and poverty. मतलब एक कंट्री दूसरी कंट्री पर कंट्रोल करता है, उसकी इकोनॉमी को एक्सप्लॉइट करता है, तो उसका परिणाम क्या होता है? उसका परिणाम होता है पोवर्टी एंड बैकवर्डनेस, गरीबी और पिछड़ापन. But my students, here I have to inform you, in order to do the better exploitation, the metropolitan state or the mother state create some institutions in the colony, or bring some policies. So indirect effect of the institutions and policies, the development, and in future this colony develops itself as modern, as national, etc., etc. So my student, be clear, the intended impact of colonialism is poverty and backwardness, but unintended impact is development. अनइंटेंडेड इम्पैक्ट इज प्रोग्रेस। मतलब जब एक मेट्रोपॉलिटन स्टेट किसी कॉलोनी पर शासन करता है तो वो चाहता है कि मैं अच्छे से अच्छे ढंग से उसका शोषण करूं, अच्छे से अच्छे ढंग से उसका हम यूज करें अपने इंटरेस्ट में। उसी में क्या करता है, कुछ वो इंस्टीट्यूशंस बनाता है, कुछ पॉलिसी लाता है, जिस पॉलिसी और इंस्टीट्यूशंस के कारण अनजाने ही वो कॉलोनी को फायदा भी हो जाता है और आगे चलकर वो डेवलप कर जाता है। इसलिए माय फ्रेंड्स, just the seeds of destruction are inherent in colonial structure itself. Wherever in the world colonialism moved, there it unconsciously gave birth to nationalism and development as well. In the third world, Asia-African countries everywhere. In India, you can find a concrete example. If it is introduced here, English education, railways, transport, railways, telegraph, and all were intended to benefit the British colonial interest. But in the long run, they are going to benefit Indian colony itself. In this way, it was the unintended impact of the British rule. My students, are you clear? आप लोग समझ रहे हो? मिस्टर अंकुर, just ask them. Are you going to be clear, my friends? Please give some hint. मतलब कोई कॉलोनी किसी दूसरे को जब एक्सप्लॉइट करता है, जब कोई मदर स्टेट किसी कॉलोनी को एक्सप्लॉइट करता है, वहां पर कुछ इंस्टीट्यूशंस बनाता है और वो इंस्टीट्यूशन से उसका डेवलपमेंट भी हो जाता है। वो डेवलपमेंट करना नहीं चाहता है, अनइंटेंडेड इम्पैक्ट, अनचाहा परिणाम है, बट डेवलपमेंट हैपेंस। दैट इज द एसेंशियल रूल ऑफ कॉलोनियलिज्म। आर यू क्लियर? अब माय फ्रेंड्स, अब दैट्स व्हाई यू विल फाइंड वन थिंग इन योर डेली कन्वर्सेशन विद सम ऑफ योर फ्रेंड्स, समवन इज गोइंग टू आस्क यू कि some of your friends is going to ask you, अच्छा यार ये बताओ कि ब्रिटिश ने इंडिया को बुरा ही बुरा किया, कुछ अच्छा नहीं किया, क्या उसको तोड़ा नहीं, क्या इंडिया को बेनिफिट किया? आप में से बहुत सारे ऐसे भी लोग होंगे जिनको ऐसा लगता होगा यार ब्रिटिश ने तो इंडिया को बहुत भला कर दिया। माय स्टूडेंट्स, इस बात को जानो, भला नहीं करना चाहते थे, अनजाने में भला हो गया, वो तो अपना काम कर रहे थे, इसलिए हम उनको क्रेडिट इसलिए नहीं देते और कोई बात नहीं। अगर वो हमारे भला करने के लिए भला करते, प्रोपेगेंडा उन्होंने जो किया, रेलवे बनाया अपने खातिर, फायदा हमें हुआ, इंग्लिश एजुकेशन उन्होंने अपने खातिर इंट्रोड्यूस किया, फायदा हमें हुआ, तो उन्होंने हमें भला नहीं करना चाहा, वी पीपल, एंड इट वाज अ मैटर ऑफ चांस वी वर गेटिंग बेनिफिटेड as the unintended impact of the British rule. Okay, I'm now moving further. In other words, poverty and backwardness were the natural consequence of colonialism, whereas development of any kind was an unintended consequence. For instance, the economic burden on the masses, the spread of illiteracy among the masses, and also the collapse of traditional education system were the immediate negative impact of the construction of railways and introduction of modern education in India. But at the same time, the railways and English education played a significant role in promotion of nationalist consciousness in India. It is right? No. Though colonialism was basically an economic relation, but it affected the political harm. Next one I am just taking. My friends, I am going to teach you colonialism, okay? So here I have to make you clear. Basically, whenever you are making the study of colonialism, so be clear. Firstly, what is capitalism in metropolitan state? That is colonialism in a colony. मतलब जो मातृ देश में पूंजीवाद है, वह उपनिवेश में उपनिवेशवाद है। मतलब what is capitalism in a metropolitan state? That is colonialism in a colony. For example, you can say, if whenever you make a study of capitalism, you will come to realize that capitalism was having three different stages of development. Capitalism was having three stages of development. Three stages of development. What is the first stage? The first stage is the mercantile phase. Mercantile phase. What is the mercantile phase? In fact, what is capitalism? Capitalism is an economic system which is hankering after profit. Capitalism is such an economic system which was guided by a motive of profit. And it is not going to evaluate anything on the basis of its internal quality, but rather on the basis of its market value. So that is capitalism. But capitalism was having different stages. In the first stage, capitalism is in the mercantile phase. In mercantile phase, the capitalism is going to collect the tradable goods from one region or products from one region, and through selling the products to other regions, it is taking profit. So that is called the mercantile phase of capitalism. मतलब एक क्षेत्र से वो गुड्स को, प्रोडक्ट्स को कलेक्ट करेगा और दूसरे क्षेत्र में उस प्रोडक्ट्स को बेचकर वो अपना मुनाफा कमाएगा, प्रॉफिट कमाएगा, उसको बोलते हैं हम मर्केंटाइल फेज ऑफ कैपिटलिज्म, मतलब पूंजीवाद का वाणिज्यिक चरण। But whenever you are moving to second stage, then you can say that capitalism took the form of industrial capitalism. Now capitalism was associated with the production, and it is through production capitalism was just going to earn the profit. So through production the capitalism is earning the profit. So that is called the industrial phase of capitalism. उसको कहते हैं पूंजीवाद का औद्योगिक चरण, because it is through producing products, it is taking profit. Then comes the third stage, that is called the financial phase. What is financial phase? Through industrial revolution, a large number of capital is accumulated. As the large quantity of capital is accumulated, so the basic philosophy of capitalism is profit, profit and more profit. So now capitalism is concerned about investing the capital in the region where it could have got the better return on the capital. So through capital investment. So when the capitalism started to earn capital through capital, earn profit through capital, so that is called the financial phase of capitalism, which appeared up from 1860 onwards. So my students, capitalism is having the three different stages. So whatever stage of capitalism had visited the mother state, the same stage of colonialism is visiting the colony, because whenever there is the mercantile phase of colonialism in metropolitan state, the metropolitan state is exploiting its colony according to its mercantile interest. If there is industrial phase of capitalism in metropolitan state, then metropolitan state is exploiting the colony from the perspective of industrial capitalism. If there is financial phase of capitalism in metropolitan state, so then metropolitan state is exploiting its colony from the perspective of financial interest. In this way, my friends, colonies were liable to work at and stooge into the hand of the metropolitan state. तो एक उपनिवेश है, उसका काम यही होता है कि मातृ देश के आर्थिक हित में हम कैसे अपने आप को उपयोग होने दें। तो यही कॉलोनी का काम होता है। तो मर्केंटाइल फेज में उन्होंने अपने इंटरेस्ट एक्सप्लॉइट किया, इंडस्ट्रियल फेज में अपने इंटरेस्ट से किया और फाइनेंशियल फेज में अपने इंटरेस्ट से किया। अब नाउ जस्ट कम टू दिस कॉलोनियलिज्म. So colonialism was basically but one thing. Whenever you are making a study of colonialism, please keep one thing in your mind. That is a very important statement. You people have to be clear about. First of all, first thing, colonialism is basically an economic relation. There is a scholar, his name was Bharniwal. He has explained colonialism. Colonialism is basically an economic relation. But it was going to affect or influence political, social and cultural structure as well. I am giving it a concrete shape. What is concrete shape? I am making clear. In fact, a metropolitan state is having control on a colony for its economic benefit. So it was basically an economic interest. But in order to serve its better economic interest, it is having the control over the colony. So it is compelled to make some political policies, some social policies, some cultural policies. So political, social and cultural policies are not independent from its economic interest, but rather you can say political, social and cultural policies are the byproduct of the economic interest of metropolitan state into its colony. मतलब मैं आपको ये बताना चाहता कि वो किसी कॉलोनी पर अगर मेट्रोपॉलिटन स्टेट अगर नियंत्रण स्थापित करता है तो उसका मुख्य मोटिव होता है, मुख्य ऑब्जेक्टिव होता है उस उपनिवेश, उस कॉलोनी के इकोनॉमी को हम अपने इंटरेस्ट में एक्सप्लॉइट करें। उसको चूंकि उसके इकोनॉमी को अपने इंटरेस्ट में एक्सप्लॉइट करना है तो उसको बेहतर एक्सप्लॉइट करने के लिए उसको कुछ पॉलिटिकल पॉलिसी बनानी पड़ती है, उसे कुछ सोशल पॉलिसी बनानी पड़ती है, उसे कोई कल्चरल पॉलिसी बनानी पड़ती है। तो अब उसमें प्रॉब्लम यह है अगर ये सब पॉलिसी उसको बनानी पड़ेगी तो ऑब्वियसली यू कैन से तो उसमें तुमको इसीलिए कहा गया है कि बेसिकली इकोनॉमिक रिलेशन होता है। अब ये सब पॉलिसी जिसको बनानी है ये सिर्फ इसलिए बनानी है कि हमारा इकोनॉमिक इंटरेस्ट पूरा हो। इसका मतलब ये पॉलिसी इंडिपेंडेंट नहीं है, उसके इकोनॉमिक इंटरेस्ट के अधीन है। तो जब भी आप कॉलोनियलिज्म का स्टडी करो तो एक बात को अपने दिमाग में रखो कि कॉलोनियल रिलेशन वाज बेसिकली एन इकोनॉमिक रिलेशन, बट इट वाज गोइंग टू अफेक्ट द पॉलिटिकल, द सोशल एंड cultural structure as well. So that's why if Lord Dalhousie had followed the policy of annexation, so this is not independent. It is subservient to the interest of the industrial capitalism of the British government. Dalhousie is not working independently, or William Bentinck is not working independently. Suppose William Bentinck has carried a number of reforms, for example, legal reforms, social reforms, cultural reforms. So are the reforms independent? Are they reflecting simply the liberal outlook of William Bentinck? No, my friends, no. They reflected even the British major colonial interest. So whenever you are making a study of colonialism, so keep this phenomenon in your mind. Okay? Are you clear? So now you are informed here, we can divide colonialism into three phases. Mercantile phase of colonialism, then follow the capitalism in Britain, 1757 to 1813, to industrial phase of colonialism, 1813 to 1858, and financial phase of colonialism, 1858 onwards. Okay? Now, we people will follow this diagram. This diagram is going to help us a lot. Yeah. मेट्रोपोलिटन स्टेट अब शेप हुआ होता है जो उसको हिंदी में बोलते हैं मातृदेश भी। मेट्रोपोलिटन वह स्टेट होता है जो कॉलोनी बनाता है। जैसे अगर हम कॉलोनी, भारत कॉलोनी था तो ब्रिटेन मेट्रोपोलिटन स्टेट है और इंडिया उसका कॉलोनी है, उपनिवेश है। तो जो उपनिवेश बनाता है उसको मेट्रोपोलिटन स्टेट कहते हैं। बाकी लोग समझ रहे हैं कि नहीं? अंकुर, प्लीज माय फ्रेंड्स मेक मी क्लियर। आर यू गोइंग टू बी क्लियर और नॉट? सिंपली टर्म्स आर नॉट एनफ, यू हैव टू पे अटेंशन टू एनालिसिस। आर यू क्लियर? कुड आई मूव फर्दर? Please be fast. Okay. Now my friends, that is the diagram. How are you going to follow my course? Actually, earlier you are making a study of modern history at your own. So what you people may do, you may go through chapter to chapter. Maybe you are moving one chapter, then from one chapter to another chapter, with second chapter to third chapter, you are moving in this manner. And you are just trying to collect the fact and information. So after 4 to 5 chapters and 6 chapters, all your facts and figures are going to be exhausted, and you people will forget what have you read since the last 8 days, 15 days, 14 days. My method of teaching is quite different. I am not going to carry you in this manner. Actually, I have to make you develop an integrated approach. And through integrated approach, you will underline the change. So that's why we have entered into colonialism, and I have developed a special style for teaching colonialism. For example, firstly, we have to observe the mercantile phase. The mercantile phase, as I have just explained you earlier, the colonialism is basically an economic relation, but it was going to affect the political, social and cultural structure as well. That's why, firstly, here I have made a diagram. In diagram is mercantilism 1757 to 1830. Matlab, simply mercantilism is not enough. Here I am making you mercantile phase of colonialism. Mercantile phase of colonialism. Or I am making a parallel diagram, then you people will be more clear. Actually, how I am going to make you people clear. Mercantile phase of, or here I am making you more clear. Colonialism. Okay, that is mercantile phase. Mercantile phase. That is point 1757 to 1830. First of all, objective. My objective. Okay. Objective is to maximize the collection of revenue, to maximize the collection of revenue so that a substantial part of revenue would have been invested in trade. Just 1 minute, my friends. If someone is going to ask you, you are talking about colonialism, but someone is going to ask you, when did British develop a colonial relation with India? When did British? Here, I am going to ask you a question. When there was the formation of East India Company, and when East India Company came to India in 1608 onwards for doing trade, did it develop a colonial relation immediately? If I am going to ask you the question, even there was the formation of East India Company in Britain, and then East India Company just came as a mercantile company for doing trade in India, did it develop the colonial relationship with India? No. Because the British East India Company just came for doing the trade, it was collecting products from India, it was exporting products from India to Britain or Europe, but in return the company was liable to pay India in the form of precious metal, gold and silver. It was not colonial relation. Colonial relation started partially after the Battle of Plassey, when the British company started to plunder Bengal, and a part of plundered money was invested in trade. Invested in trade means what? Invested in trade means the British started to collect the products of India through Indian money. मतलब पैसा भी इंडिया का ही लगा हो और प्रोडक्ट भी इंडिया का, तो इंडिया को तो कुछ मिला नहीं ना. इसका मतलब है कि ब्रिटिश ने हमारी इकोनॉमी को अपने इंटरेस्ट के लिए जब से एक्वाइट करना शुरू किया, तब से colonialism आया. And basically, this situation appeared after the Battle of Buxar, when the British company got the Diwani of Bengal, and through the Diwani of Bengal, the British company got the right of collection of revenue. And here the objective of the company was clear in mercantile phase. Expand the amount of revenue, means collect more and more revenue and preserve the money. Simply collection will not suffice to fulfill our need. You will collect so much money, but you will spend money extravagantly. We cannot save the money. Collect the revenue, save a major part of it for investing in trade, so that your substantial part would have been invested in trade. आप रेवेन्यू को कलेक्ट करिए, उसका एक मेजर पार्ट आप व्यापार में निवेश करिए, मतलब इंडियन प्रोडक्ट्स खरीदिए उसे. So this situation came after the Battle of Buxar. That's why you know, here I have used the term, after the Battle of Plassey and Buxar, the colonial relationship developed. Mercantile phase started from here, and it had to continue up to 1830. And here you know, what was the basic British colonial interest? Maximization of the collection of revenue, and to invest a substantial part of revenue in trade. This was the objective. Okay? So, as I have told you, colonialism is basically an economic relation, but it was going to affect political, social and cultural structure as well. So that's why, my friends, all the other policies are just an extension of this objective. For example, you can say, what is the political policy? Just try to observe. In diagram, I have made you clear. What is the political policy? The political policy is to, just here I have given you, to policy of ring fence to encircle enemy states with friendly states. But during this period, the British company tried to avoid war and annexation of the Indian states as much as possible. Because the company was not interested in fighting too many wars, or spending too much money on war or annexation of Indian states. It tried to avoid as much as possible. Although the British company had to fight a lot of wars, it had to annex some regions as well. But the overall policy of the British company was to avoid the war and annexation. मतलब कंपनी को कुछ युद्ध लड़ने पड़े, कुछ क्षेत्र का विलय करना पड़ा, लेकिन कंपनी की कोशिश यही रही कि हम जितने कम वॉर लड़ सके, जितने क्षेत्रों के विलय को रोक सके, ताकि हम अधिक से अधिक पैसा बचाकर हम ट्रेड में निवेश कर सके. ये पॉलिटिकल पॉलिसी है. एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव पॉलिसी क्या है? टू मेंटेन ओल्ड मुगल स्ट्रक्चर विद सर्टेन मॉडिफिकेशन. मतलब हम एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन में पुराना मुगल हम प्रशासनिक ढांचे को ही बनाए रखे और उसमें थोड़ा बहुत परिवर्तन लाके काम चलाए. मतलब वी हैव टू मेंटेन द एक्जिस्टिंग मुगल एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव स्ट्रक्चर विद सर्टेन मॉडिफिकेशन. मतलब मेनली दे वर इंटरेस्टेड इन ब्रिंगिंग मॉडिफिकेशन either you know in land revenue system or in judicial system. Otherwise they just try to maintain the old structure. Then in economic, I am repeating economic as well, origin of drain of wealth and the decline of handicrafts in Bengal. This was the natural phenomenon of the British rule during this period. And social policy, to maintain traditional social structure, because British company was not interested in change in reforms, because its objective was very limited, to maximize the revenue and to invest a part of revenue in trade. So that's why it didn't take interest into the social change as well. And last but not least, Orientalism. Most of the you can say British officers who came to India during this period, they were having Orientalist approach. They were taking interest into Indian culture, Indian past and culture, and they were not favoring any major reforms, because this was the basic guideline. So my friend, today the time is over. I have started the class 10 minutes late, but I have continued the class, you can say 12 and 30 minutes more. So my friends, I am having the constraint of time, so today I have to stop here. So please make me clear, because I am moving now. Have you been clear? मतलब आप लोग clear हुए? आज जो मैंने बताना चाहा, मेरा मैसेज आप लोगों तक पहुंच पाया या नहीं? रिंग फेंस का मतलब होता है घेरा की नीति. पॉलिसी ऑफ रिंग फेंस मतलब घेरे की नीति. मतलब अपने एनिमी स्टेट्स को तुम मित्र स्टेट से घेरो, मतलब लड़ो नहीं, तुम कोशिश करो कि मेरा एनिमी स्टेट है तो वहां पर एक अपना फ्रेंडली स्टेट को खड़ा कर दो, ताकि एनिमी स्टेट तुमसे बाहर ना जाए. ओके, सो माय फ्रेंड्स, टुडे आई एम स्टॉपिंग हियर.